Man, I can't believe that. Crazy. Yo, what's up, camper? Hey, what's good, everybody? Glad to see you guys are here. All right, we'll probably give it maybe a few minutes before people start joining in. Just a quick update. I guess some of you guys who joined the live stream last night, I was talking about how crappy it was for, whenever I go out to record, the police scanner has like all the areas combined on one channel. But last night I was actually able to get some really good footage. I guess I just so happened to be in the areas for a lot of these calls that I got some decent footage. So it worked out. Sometimes it's a hit or miss, but it's always a good night whenever you start and you get out there and you record matters of public interest. So there's that. What's good, everybody? How's everybody doing? All right, so for some of you guys who are just now joining in, this live stream is a fundraiser for Texas Supreme Court oral argument for Todd, aka SAXC Press. This link that I put in the chat is the link for donating to support the case that is going to be presented in front of the Texas Supreme Court, advocating Second Amendment rights. So, with that being said, all proceeds of this live stream is for that purpose only. All right. Tammy, how old am I? I'm 31. 31. Yeah. So while we guys are joining in here, we're gonna start off right off the back. We're gonna talk about the Galveston situation that happened a couple of years ago. Some of you guys may know about the video, but not a lot of people know about what happened behind the scenes when I was arrested. I did say that I was going to talk about that, and tonight I am going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about that in its entirety in the next 2 or 3 minutes. So if you can, Keith, just if you can, just share that link so people can go and donate. So there's the link there if you want to donate. But without further ado, we are going to go ahead and jump right into it. All right, so the purpose of this live stream is to raise money for the Texas Supreme Court oral argument on behalf of Todd, which is a good friend of mine. He has a YouTube channel by the name of SAXC Press. This fundraiser is pretty much used to fund money for the lawyer and I guess lawyer expenses. I told CJ and Todd that I would definitely help them out with the live stream. So pretty much the whole purpose of this live stream is just to raise money for that cause, and any super chat donation, any donate, I would just say please send all money to that link there if you can, and please, and just say, hey, the Batosai sent me. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, if you guys can do that, I would love that. But in the meantime, while we're all here, let's go ahead and get started right into the live stream, because there's something that I want to talk to y'all about, and there's a lot that you guys may not know. So with that being said, I'm going to play a video here. I think you guys may have seen this video, but some of you who may have not seen the video, this is the Galveston arrest that happened back in 2015, and I have not talked about my experience, what happened behind bars. So while I was in jail overnight, you'll be surprised, or you may not be surprised about some of the stuff that may have happened. But as y'all may know, there are certain cops who do not like auditors, and they make it known. And sometimes you see the videos of how officers behave towards people who report the police. However, could you imagine the things that happens behind closed doors as soon as the video camera turns off and your favorite auditor was arrested? So I'm going to talk about my experience. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight into the video. And some of you guys may have seen this video, but this is just, I'm going to play a little snippet of, of the video. So this is the Galveston arrest. Let me know if you guys can hear the audio from the video.
How you doing?
I'm all right.
You all right?
Yeah.
Got ID on you?
For what?
Do you have identification on you?
For what?
Okay, I'm gonna step out.
Okay.
Turn the audio up just a little bit.
All right. My name's Sergeant Chapman.
So this is
I understand.
Do you have identification?
Archie Chapman. This guy
Just 1 second,
is
sir.
a bad guy.
May I ask why you asked
He's
for
a terrible
identification?
person.
Because you're acting suspicious. You're videotaping people's personal vehicles and their license plates. So do you have identification on you?
I'm not videotaping nobody's license plate.
You haven't answered my question.
I don't
Right.
have ID on me.
Okay, you don't have ID on you?
No, not on me.
1929. Show me out on one in front of the station, recording POV's license plates.
That's clear.
So that's fine that you recorded me. I want to let you know that you're also being recorded as well.
I'm sorry.
What is your name?
Uh,
Or let me ask you this. Let me step back. Do you have a state-issued driver's license?
I don't want to answer any questions.
Do you have a driver's license?
I'm not gonna answer any questions.
Okay. Are you gonna identify yourself?
What crime have I committed?
I already told you the fact that you're being suspicious. You're taping, you're videotaping people's license plate.
And
The front of the building here?
No, I'm talking about the license plate.
let me
I'm
just
talking about
pause
the building.
here to kind of give you guys a little context. So while this was going on, before there was a News Now Houston, David, which is, everybody knows him as News Now Houston, he was out here recording with me. In fact, he was the one that invited me to come to Galveston because he knew that Galveston was a problem area. So while this interaction was going on, News Now Houston was about 50 feet from me doing the same exact thing. However, only one of us got arrested. I was black. News Now Houston is a white older man. You do the math. See if you can figure out who got arrested.
I don't have a problem with that.
And
I'm
I'll just
talking
say
about
this:
what
only
license
one
plate did I
person
capture?
got arrested.
these over here. I'm pretty sure that if I pull up the tape, it's going to show that you've got license plates on it. Would you like to?
This tape here?
Yeah. Would you like to tell me otherwise?
Yeah, I was not. I don't need to film people's license plate. I'm just filming the building.
So if you were to show me that, you could show me that there aren't any license plates on it.
There was only one car that was following me around, and I didn't know who it was. And that's the only person that she was parked over here. Nothing over here.
Okay. Is there a license plate on there?
She filmed me.
Who was
There's
she?
nothing-
Who was
Make
she?
sure you guys
I
hit
don't
that
know
like
who she
button.
was. I
54
didn't
likes.
know
Let's
show
go.
me
Show
We
you
gotta
what?
get that. Gotta get the likes
There's
up.
no license plates on that on your video.
On this video?
Thank you,
I don't have a
Stephen
problem
Meth,
with
for
you
the $10
taking the,
donation. I really
bill
appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I don't
Love
have
you
a problem
back.
with
It was a
that.
little
I'm
something
talking
for the
about the
cause. I
license
appreciate it. Thank you,
Which license
Stephen.
plate? I'm still asking.
These vehicles over
Appreciate
here.
that, man.
Where you were standing at.
The city of Galveston vehicle?
No, these vehicles over here. Okay, there's one, two, there's other vehicles over here.
No, I did not.
Yeah,
film those at all.
Would you be
Mr.
willing to
Chapman
show me
did
that?
get
That you
demoted.
didn't
He
film?
eventually got
I could.
demoted. Yes,
Okay.
that's
Can you show me
true.
that?
Sure. 1 second, real quick.
Can we get 100 likes in the building? Let's go. Let's get it up.
And also, while you're pulling that up,
Uh-huh.
let me get your name.
Like I said, I'm still.
So
asking
you're not
for
going
a
to
crime.
identify yourself?
I'm showing you that I didn't do.
You're not going to
wrong.
identify yourself?
No.
Okay, go ahead and put your hands behind your back.
Not to come over here 'cause we'll go to jail.
And here's
Okay,
where
can
I
put
got
this down?
arrested.
I just don't want to drop it. I just want to put it down.
It's fine.
Okay. Actually, put it right here.
Hang on. I don't think you can see me now Houston from that angle. But he's to the far right.
Okay, so at this
Thank
time,
you, Cameron
I'm gonna
Harris,
turn
for the
off your
$10
recording,
donation. I
okay?
really
Is there a reason
appreciate
why I
that. Thank
turned
you,
it off?
brother.
well, you're going to go to jail. And so, do you want to leave it running while you're in jail?
Yeah.
You want to leave it running the whole time?
Yes.
I don't even know where I got that shirt from, but I do miss it. It was a very, very comfortable shirt. And it was probably one of my favorite shirts, so I don't even know where it's at. So, long story short, I'm in handcuffs, about to go to jail. Luckily for me, the jail just so happened to be in that building right behind the building that I was filming. So I guess I didn't have to go that far. Thank you, Nachos 007 Nachos, for the $5 donation. Thank you. Keep up the good work. All right. So as you see, there I am in handcuffs, about to be hauled off to jail. So the camera shuts off. So what happens after the camera shuts off? What happens afterwards? This is what, a lot of people don't realize, what happens behind the doors. Thank you, Young Elder Truth Seeker, for the $5 donation. I really appreciate that. Thank you, brother. So Archie Chapman puts me in the back of the vehicle, handcuffed. They didn't put the seatbelt on me because there's it's just a trip in. We're in the parking lot of the jail, so there's not, we don't have to go that far. So they take me into the Sally Port. Archie Chapman takes me out of the vehicle, and then they put me into this it looks like it's like a center room, and in that room there is like a plexiglass, and you can see all the staff behind that plexiglass, and there's other people sitting in that little detention room. There's like these large white concrete rectangle blocks that you can sit on. So I was sitting on that, and meanwhile they were still trying to figure out who I was. Thank you, Psycho Cowboys fan, for the $4.99 donation. Appreciate that, brother. Thank you. So while I was sitting there, they were asking me, what is your name? What is your date of birth? I wouldn't give it to them. I kept asking them over and over again, what am I being arrested for? They kept saying failure to ID. And I was trying to explain to them in the jail that you cannot arrest me for failure to ID. There was no crime. They said the crime was failure to ID. And I just could not understand it. It was infuriating. It was frustrating. Thank you, Jonathan Pina, for the $50 donation. Thank you, Talman, for the $5 donation. Thank you, Ray Z World, for the $20 donation. Thank you, brothers. I really appreciate that. This is definitely going to go for the cause. But if you guys could, please donate to that link there, because that's where the money's going to go to. Thank you, Richard, for the $20 donation. So far we have $128.92 saved for the fundraiser. I really appreciate that. Thank you. So while I was sitting there, Archie Chapman kept trying to get me to identify myself. I would not. Then the supervisor for the jail, Villarreal, will never forget him. He came out and was trying to get me to identify myself. Would not. And they told me, you're going to make this difficult, and you're not going to see a magistrate until you identify yourself. And I stuck to my guns. I would not identify myself. I sat there. And then Archie Chapman took my camera, went into a room, and started viewing the videos on my camera. He didn't obtain a warrant. He didn't get consent to search through the camera at all. And I knew right then and there, these guys are bad news. If these guys don't care about getting a search warrant to look at my camera, if they're just doing these things without permission, then these guys are bad news. Thank you, OKC Vet, for the $100 donation. Love you too, brother. It was nice meeting you, man. I remember seeing you at that gun rally. So they pretty much left, and they were like looking at the videos. And while they were looking at the videos, I was still sitting on that concrete block, and the medic came out. And the medic, like they do the intake where they're trying to get your information, because they want to, make sure that your medical history is documented, so that way if you need certain medicines and everything like that, they have it. So they were trying to get me to identify myself in that way, and I still wouldn't. So I literally sat there on that white concrete bench for the past maybe about 2.5 hours before they realized that, okay, he can't keep sitting there. We have to do something. So what did Villarreal and Archie Chapman do? I'll show you what they did.
It's documented. 6 hours battery. It's documented.
Let me see if I
It's
can
documented.
find that video.
Hi, we're OfferPad, the new way
So
homes are
Archie
sold.
Chapman
Go to offerpad.com,
and
tell us
Villarreal
about your home,
took
and we'll
my
send you a great
keys,
purchase offer.
the keys
Or,
that I
if
had
that's
on
not your
me,
style, we can also list your
and decided to go outside and search for my car. And how did they know they found the right car? Because they used the key fob and was just like chirping away around the block looking for the car. So lo and behold, they found my car. And David, News Now Houston,
home with tons.
caught
After
this,
my arrest, my SD card was taken without a warrant and booked into evidence. While I was in jail,
So this is what you see here. This is Villarreal. I'm not sure who the other deputy is, and there's Archie Chapman. This is how they found my car. They used a key fob to go look for my vehicle, and they found it. And they pretty much wrote down a license plate and all identifying information, and went inside my vehicle. They went inside my car. So this is how they found my car. You can see the car alarm clearly going off, and they set it off using a key fob, and then illegally entering my car. So let's see. Here is the dash cam footage. So while this was going on, I was still sitting inside the jail with no knowledge of what was going on. I'm sitting there thinking, are these guys gonna give up? What are these guys gonna do? What are their plans? So all while I was inside the jail, this was going on. They were driving around using the key fob that they took out of evidence, or they took out of not evidence. I'm sorry, property. They took my property and removed it from the jail that they booked in, and they used it to find my car. So they find my car, and you can see the officers here, walking around. Oh, let me see. You see Archie Chapman there, radio into my license plate. And there's the other two deputies. So that's Archie Chapman inside my car. Excuse me. That's Sergeant Chapman in my car, looking inside, trying to find my wallet. Right? So they turn off my camera and pretty much found my wallet. Okay? So as you see there, this is what happens when you stand up for your rights. You stand firm. You refuse to identify yourself because they have no legal basis to identify you or even request that information. And then they step outside the law. They took my keys from the jail property, went around the block, found my vehicle. My dash cam was rolling the whole time. They ran my license plate, which, okay, whatever. But where they really messed up is where they went inside my vehicle without consent, and they searched it, found my wallet. Now, my car was on private property in front of a Subway. It was like 2 or 3 blocks away from the police station. Bad. Yeah, that was my car that was going off, yes. So I was still sitting in the jail, sitting in the same spot. And then here comes Villarreal and Archie Chapman rolling in. And then I'm looking at them, and they're looking at me, and they have these smirks on their face that says, "This is what happens when you question authority." And he's holding my ID and my wallet in his hand. And I'm looking at him, and I was like, you mother... Whew. I was, wow. And I was like, who gave you permission to go into my car? He didn't answer that. But the reason why he said this is what happens when you question authority is because I have a bumper sticker on my car that says question authority. But his response was, this is what happens when you question authority. Wow. I was baffled, man. I was just like, yeah, these guys are really, really bad. Like, this is terrible. So with that being said, they got my information that way, and they booked me in the jail. And they put me in like a shared cell. So I was sitting in the cell with like a couple other guys. So we were just sitting there chilling, and it was about dinner time. So dinner time happened, and the jail staff was passing out sandwiches. So while they were passing out sandwiches, they didn't give me one. And I was like, where's my sandwich? They said, no, you're not getting one. This is what happens when you refuse to identify yourself to law enforcement. We're not going to give you. You're not going to get food tonight. So that whole night, I didn't get anything. I didn't get a sandwich. Nothing to drink. Nada. Everyone else did, but I didn't. So I was kind of like, okay. I was expecting some sort of retaliation or some form of retaliation, and this was going to be the start of it. So no food for that night. And then, while I was there, they would walk by the cell, and they would kind of like look at me and grin, like they just like, oh yeah, we showed this guy, we showed him, ha ha ha. But meanwhile, while that was going on, the phones were ringing off the hook, and I can hear the phones. I didn't know that they were already doing a call flood. They were doing a call flood while I was in the cell with some other guys, and the staff was like, man, these people keep calling about this guy, like what's going on? And everybody was confused, like, who is this guy? Like, who is he? Like, is he important? Is he famous? Because every time we pick up the phone, there's someone asking about Philip Turner. Is Philip Turner okay? How is he? What is everything okay? So they were kind of getting nervous. Thank you, Crimson Wolf, for the $20 donation. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you. So they were getting nervous. They were just like confused at what was going on. So when the other inmates got wind of like, why are people calling about you? Then that's when I went in and started to explain to them what I did and why I did it. Some of them were, oh, that's pretty cool, that's awesome. And then there were some people who were saying, man, that's stupid, that's dumb. You in here because you think you can stand up for your rights. You're in the wrong county for that. And I was like, well, this is why I'm here. I'm here to expose that. That's the main reason why I'm out here documenting this situation. And then that's when people started, talking about, what they got arrested for. There were some people who got arrested for warrants. There was a person that got arrested for public intoxication, domestic battery. There was a lot of things that the people were there that got arrested for. And then when my turn happens, people looked at me and was like, hey, what you got arrested for? And I kind of looked at them. I was like, because I didn't show my identification to an officer. And they looked at me and said, wait, what? And I said, yeah. And they looked at me and they're like, bro, you are stupid. Why didn't you just give your ID to the police officer? And I looked at him and I said, because I don't have to. I don't have to give my ID to a police officer unless I've been lawfully arrested. Now, this whole time I was trying to sit here and like quote the law for these people, but they wouldn't listen. They didn't care. All they kept saying was, oh man, wait till the magistrate come. Wait till Judge Splicing come. He's going to send you to county for 90 days. Can't wait. And I was like, nah, he's not. And they're like, you don't know the county judge out here. And one of the guys was like, oh, I've been out here for a long time, and that judge is a straight savage. He doesn't care. And I was like, all right, We'll see when we get there. So the whole while, they were kind of talking about like, man, this dude should have just gave his ID up. He didn't have any warrants, so there's no reason why he should have hid his ID. And then there was actually another guy that was there who was arrested for failure to ID. And he was arrested because he actually lied about his identification. He had warrants, but he lied about it. And his case was a little odd because he was just sitting minding his own business, and the cops came and they messed with him and pretty much told him, you can't be sitting here on this on the curve or whatever. You need to leave, but before you leave, I need to get your ID. So he lied about it. Find out that they did lie about it. He got arrested for failure to ID, so that's definitely gonna stick. He screwed up. But in my case, I refused to ID, so they charged me with failure to ID. So another member of the staff, of the jail staff, walked by, and I said, hey, can you tell me what my charges are? He said, yeah, I could tell you what your charges are. Just give me a second. He comes back and says, yeah, you're only being charged with failure to ID. And I said, is there any other charges that I'm being charged with? He said, no. And I sat there smiling, laughing. And the guy's like, what's funny? He said, because I said, y'all screwed up. Maybe not you in particularly, but the two that arrested me and brought me here, they screwed up. So he was like, all right. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, but okay. So Villarreal comes back and he moves me from another cell into a different one. And this cell had fewer people in it. So I didn't know what his motive was. So when he moved me to another cell, there was another guy that got brought in from the Sally Port. Now, this guy was public intoxicated. He was aggressive. He was loud. And he just would not stop talking, would not stop yelling. It just kept going on and on and on. He decides to put him in the same cell with me, hoping something may have happened. Hoping something happens. So when he got in, when they brought him into the cell, I was just kind of sitting there like, man, I might have to be in jail for a while, because if I had to fight this dude, then I'm definitely gonna get another charge. That was my mindset thinking. So what I ended up doing was I sat in the corner and tried to go to sleep. It was probably maybe 1 a.m., 1:30 at this point. Tried to go to sleep. The dude just kept yelling, screaming, and just going off and off and off. He would not be quiet for the love of God. He would just not stop talking. And then 3 o'clock in the morning hits, still going on, still out, still talking. And then he finally calms down a little bit. And then when he calms down a little bit, he starts talking to everyone in the cell like, hey, what you in here for? What you get arrested for? So, story time. Everybody goes down the line, what they got arrested for. Same thing, public intoxication, warrants, which seems to. But then when it came to my turn, I'll tell you, failure to ID, I didn't name my police officer. Man, you stupid. You should just get me an ID. Did you have warrants? No, I don't have warrants. Well, why did you get your ID? Because the state law says I don't have to. Oh, man, you stupid. Man, you should have just showed ID. You would probably wouldn't be here right now. Man, you so dumb. And I was like, no, I stand by what I did. And he said, well, wait till you see Judge Swanson. And I said, man, this is the second time I keep hearing about this judge. And I said, I guess I'll see him at 8 o'clock in the morning then. I don't know who he is. So, meanwhile, while all this was going on, can you ask me? Ooh, hang on. All right. Test. Mic check. 1 2. Check, check. Mic 1 2 check. All right, so we're good now. All right, yeah. Good thing I'm paying attention to the chat too. So what was the last thing you guys heard? I don't want to assume that you guys heard everything there. Ooh, look at the chat. The chat's just flooding in. Oh, so you heard up until story time. Okay, story time. All right. So back to what we were talking about. So the guy calms down and he starts talking to everyone in the cells, asking, hey, what'd you get arrested for? So story time. It seems to me that a lot of people in Galveston gets either arrested for warrants or public intoxication or, some sort of like domestic violence dispute or some sort of like assault, something like that. Wait. Who is that? Financial Baby Steps. Thank you for the $100 donation. I appreciate that. It is so scary to think that these are the people we pay taxes to protect us. Stay safe. Best of luck to you and the people of Texas. Thank you. Thank you for that donation. I appreciate it. So after everybody explained why they were in the jail, it came to my turn. Of course, I told them I got arrested for failure to ID because I didn't give my ID to a police officer. Pride Gamer, thank you for the $1.49 donation. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. So when I told them that, they just kept looking at me like, are you stupid? Why didn't you just give ID? You're so dumb. Like, you should have just gave ID. And I tried to explain to them the Texas law. They didn't care. What they were just saying was like, well, if you would have just gave ID, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't even be in a cell right now. But I told them, I said, that's not the point. The point is that I'm standing up for my rights, and I'm just not going to back down because some police officer tells me. And then they were telling me, well, wait till you see the Judge Spison, because Spison's gonna send you to county. So that was the second time I keep hearing about this judge. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll just hear about this judge then. Thank you, Josh Murray, for the $10 donation. Appreciate that. Thank you, brother. So that was the second time I heard about Judge Spison. I didn't understand, they made it seem like he was some sort of God and he just determines your fate. Like, that's how a lot of the people were talking about this guy. And I had no clue. So eventually the guy calms down. Like, this is like 3:30, 3 o'clock, after everybody's, shared their side of what they were doing. He ends up going to sleep. So we pretty much had peace for the next couple hours until 8 o'clock hit. 8 o'clock hit. That's when the judge, that's when you go see the magistrate. That's when, I guess, the governmental operations, are in effect. So this process was a little different, and it was kind of odd. Only because the magistrate, we didn't go to the magistrate. The magistrate came to us. So the magistrate comes in, and he sits at this computer. This is behind a wall, and he pretty much, calls the names out. So what they did was they took the whole group out of the cell. Like, they would take, like, there's like maybe 10 or 15 people to a cell. Thank you, OKC Vet, for the $100 donation. I appreciate that. Thank you, CPR, for the $1 donation. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Ronnie Lopez, for the $25. Man, you guys are so generous. Man, awesome. Hey, make sure you hit that like button, man. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate that. No. Donate here. Donate here, please. Please. If you can, donate there. It's for a good cause. Let's see where we're at. Awesome. So at the start of this live stream, we were sitting at 3,111. Right now, we're at 3,337. Awesome, guys. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I see there. Tammy, Philip Turner sent me. Thank you. I appreciate that donation, Tammy. Thank you, everyone who's donating. Thank you, everyone who's tuning in and just listening to my story. Thank you. So, where was I? So, Judge Blyson sits behind this this desk with a computer, and there's like maybe 3 or 4 cells, if I remember correctly. And in each of the cells, there's about maybe 10 to 15 people, max capacity in these cells. So what they did was everybody was in view of the magistrate, so they can see and hear pretty much everything. Even the staff of the jail could see and hear everything. So what they ended up doing was they would take the whole staff, take the whole cell out, and they would sit them in these benches, and you would sit there. And when the magistrate calls your name, you would get up and you would walk in front of the magistrate. The magistrate would read the charges, and if you want to say anything, you can say whatever you want. And then the magistrate will determine your fate, whether you go to county, whether he'll grant you a bond, or he'll dismiss the charges. So that's pretty much what happens when you see a magistrate. Wait, Caddy Kit Licks, will donations be solely for you? No, Caddy. This whole live stream and all proceeds will go to the Texas Supreme Court oral arguments. I'm raising money for a good friend. His name is Todd and CJ Grisham. Todd is known as SAXC Prez, and they're actually taking a fight to the Texas Supreme Court to change the law. And I am all for trying to support activists who are trying to make change. So this live stream is only a fundraiser. I will get no proceeds, anything that gets donated. So this chat revenue that I'm seeing right now, we're at $507.35. All of that will go to the donation. So at the end of the live stream, you will see me donating the total amount on the Texas oral argument, and you'll find that here. So that's the beautiful thing about fundraising. You know, everybody gets together and they want to, go for a common goal. Nah, I mean, I appreciate that. Thank you. If you guys were donating to me, but I told Todd and CJ Grisham that I was going to do a live stream, and whatever proceeds that I get, I'm going to donate that to their cause, because I truly believe in what they do. So, yeah, I'm just a nice guy. I like to help people out whenever I can. All right, so back story time. Donate link is not in the description of the chat. Is it? Is it not? No, it should be. It's the very first link. It's the very first. It should be there. Let me know if you guys see it. The donate link should be in in a super chat. Okay. If you guys, if I have any moderators in the chat, can you please copy that donation link and just kind of periodically paste that in the chat? Thank you guys. I appreciate that. So where was I? All right, story time. So that's basically how it works when you see a magistrate. So they would take the people out, sit them on these benches, and the magistrate will call your name. Then, you would stand in front of the magistrate who read the charges. You'll say your piece, and then the magistrate will pretty much grant you either if you're going to county or if you are going to get a bond or dismiss the charges, pretty much. So they called our cell. Our cell was called, so they took everybody out, sat them in front of the judge, and then I saw the whole staff. They're just like looking around, and I don't think Chapman was there, but I know Villarreal was there. Villarreal was the supervisor for the jail. He was there, and I guess he just had it out for me because he wanted to see me get locked up. Thank you, E-Kid, for the $5 donation. Thank you, Gandalf 2000, for the $10 donation. Thank you very much. So they were calling everybody up one by one. People got arrested for warrants, people who got public intoxication, and then my name got called. I kid you not. When my name got called, the whole staff went silent. Like, it was just dead silent. They were like, I heard some of the people saying, yeah, this is the guy that kept calling about. Like, who is this guy? We don't know who this guy is. But, you know, we got over like, you know, thousands of calls overnight just for one guy. And we don't know who he is. We Googled his name and he has some sort of YouTube channel. But I mean, other than that, he hasn't done anything, or we don't know anything about him. So they were just dead silent. Even some of the people who thought I was going to go to county and call me stupid and dumb, they got dead silent too, because they wanted to hear what was going to happen. So I walked up in front of the Judge Splicen, and he said, all right, looks like you were arrested for failure to ID. Audio's good, guys, because I'm about to get into the good part. Audio's good? All right, good. So he asked me, why didn't you just give ID? And I told him, I said, well, state law does not require me to identify myself to law enforcement unless I'm being lawfully arrested. And then he's like, well, I hope you know that the penal code changes every 2 years or 3 years. It gets amended. And I said, well, if it hasn't changed in the last 2 weeks, it's still the same. And then he looks at me like I'm like I said something that I probably shouldn't have said, but everybody's still dead silent. Like, who is this guy talking to the judge like this? Some people say, yes, sir, no, sir, or I'm sorry, judge. But this guy is having a dialogue with the magistrate, and they're conversing about a law. And what is he doing? And the judge was like, okay, you have a point. So the judge looks at the paper and says, so you were outside videotaping license plates? And I looked at the judge and said, I wasn't videotaping license plates. I have no reason for that. I was outside videotaping the building and just, you know, recording what I see on the public sidewalk. The judge was like, well, here it just says you were filming license plates. And I said, you know what? Even if I was filming license plates, it's not illegal. And I said, in fact, the city of Galveston have traffic cameras on all their intersections, or majority of their intersections. And if you're going to sit here and tell me that filming a license plate is illegal, then the city of Galveston is illegal for doing the same exact thing. He gets quiet. Now, it gets really quiet. You could probably hear a pin drop. That's how quiet it is. Like, you couldn't hear, you could hear anything, but it was just dead silence. So the magistrate keeps looking at the paper, and he says, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grant you a personal bond. And I kind of sat there and I was like, what is a personal bond? I'm over here thinking, like, what is a personal bond? And then everybody else is over here like, what? I thought he was going to go to county. I thought he was going to go to jail. And then, you know, Villarreal kind of looked there. He was kind of confused, like, whoa. I thought he's going to go to jail. He should be going to county. Like, you could see the looks on people's faces, and they were kind of stunned. And I was just kind of sitting there. I was stunned myself too, because I was like, a personal bond. I don't have any money on me right now, so like, how am I gonna do this personal bond? Thank you, Jake Elliott, for the $10 donation. So appreciate that, brother. Thank you. So I was sitting there like trying to figure out what is a personal bond, and then while I was like thinking about it, I guess he saw that I was kind of thinking about it, like I didn't know what it was, and he said, well, don't worry about it. You know, we'll take care of you. We'll be leaving before the end of the day. You know, when we get done, you're pretty much going to leave. So after the magistrate gets done talking to everybody gets up and goes back to the cell. If you get a bond, you go back to the cell. If you're going to county, I think if I serve me correctly, because I didn't really pay attention to much of anyone else's cases whenever they were being brought up, but if they were going to go to county, they were given like a little orange suit or whatever, and they were shipped off to county jail. So I sat back down and sat in the same spot in the cell, which is pretty much the corner where I was sitting at. And then the other guys that I was in the cell with kind of sat there. And when they closed the cell and the magistrate started talking to the next group of people that were brought out, they were looking at me. They're like, yo, who are you? Like, who are you? And I'm like, oh, I'm just an average Joe. My name is Philip. I I record police. And they were just like, but we never seen anyone talk to a judge like that before. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, because typically people just say yes sir, no sir, and they try to be nice to the judge and hope for the best. You know, we don't want to go to county, but you know, sometimes, you know, people do stupid stuff, but you know, we don't know our rights to say certain things, so we don't know what to say. But they said that's the first time they've ever seen just an average person quote the law or semi-quote the law and tell the judge, you know, basically, you know, this is what it is or this is how it is. And not all magistrates happen like this. There are some magistrates that just don't want to hear anything at all. But I guess this magistrate was kind of curious, so that's why he kind of heard me. But he didn't have to. So while I was in the cell with the group of people, and you know we were talking, they were asking me like, so what about this failure to ID law? So what is this? And I told them the law. I said Texas law states that you do not have to identify yourself. And it's been a while since I've read the penal code 3802, but if I remember correctly, it says if a person refuses his name, date of birth, or proof of residency to a police officer who has lawfully arrested the person, the person commits an offense if he refuses to give his name, date of birth, and piece of residency to a peace officer who has lawfully arrested them. But if they give a fictitious name, they can be charged. Or if you're a witness to a crime and you give a fictitious name, you can be charged. It's somewhere along the lines. I don't know the penal code 3802 for verbatim, but I understand the concepts. So I was explaining that to them while I was in the jail, and they were like, wow, that's so cool. Like, so me knowing my rights, you know, I can probably avoid going to jail. And I said, well, you probably might go to jail still, but it's just a question of whether or not the charges are going to stick. So just make sure you understand what the law says and stay within those parameters of the law. Don't do anything outside that. But I told him, I said, you know, best of luck. You know, hopefully, you know, this experience, you know, you guys learned something from this experience. Maybe you guys, I don't expect you guys to, you know, learn all the laws, but I hope you guys just will do your due diligence and learn a little bit more about the laws to protect yourself against bad police officers. So they were like shocked and fascinated, and they were like, cool, man. Thanks, man. I'll have to definitely research some of that stuff. And I got discharged, and as soon as I got out of the jail, News Now David, he wasn't News Now Houston yet, but he was just David. So David is waiting for me as soon as I gets out, and as soon as I get in the car, he's like, you will not believe what's going on. He said so much has been going on since you were going to jail. There's a lot that was going on behind the scenes. And I was like, all right, fill me in. So we went from Galveston all the way to Kemah, and he was just filling me in that the, you know, KHOU 11 News wants to speak with you. Quanell X wants to speak with you. Like, just, it was just a lot going on, like, at once. So piece by piece. So that's when.
Hi, we're OfferPad, the new way home.
Let's see.
Mortgage rates fall again. Try recalculating your potential new house payment in minutes.
That's when you see this incident here. So this is where I made the news, right? So I literally did this segment as soon as I got out of jail, and we went to Kemah. So when I got to Kemah, I think we met there, and they did this segment. So thought it was pretty cool.
Do you have a state issue drop?
So with that being said, that was my experience with there's more. So it gets really bad for Archie Chapman and Villarreal, because there's more stuff that comes to light, such as when I went back to my car, I noticed my dash cam and everything was unplugged, but the memory card was still there. That's how I found out that they went into my car. I mean, no. I take that back. I knew they went in my car. But I had proof that they went in my car at the time. So I took the video and I shared it. And before I knew it, Archie Chapman they were going to demote Archie Chapman, and Villarreal got fired, so he lost his job. What did I get out of it? I think my lawyer was about to file a lawsuit, and before my law filed a lawsuit, the city of Galveston decided to settle. The city of Galveston settled for $10,000, and I think the county settled for $20,000. Or I might have that mixed up, but all in all, it was a total of $30,000 that pretty much settled out of court for. At the end of the day, Villarreal lost his job. He no longer was a supervisor for the county jail. Archie Chapman got demoted, and he left the department, and he went to work for Jamaica Beach, which is like very, 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 very small town. So he went from a supervisor and then went to like a patrolman. So I think he had like a deduction in pay was like literally cut in half probably. And then later on, we find out that Archie Chapman gets indicted for criminal trespass for going into my vehicle. And when Archie Chapman got indicted, that was the first time in Galveston history that a police officer has been indicted for something that he was on duty for. So that was something new. The city attorney wanted to call me as a witness because they were going to Archie Chapman was facing a charge of criminal trespass. Now, I didn't know the whole criminal trespass law verbatim, but pretty much from what I understand is that you would have to be on the property or in the property. So long story short, Archie Chapman was found not guilty because he didn't have both of his feet inside the vehicle. That's I kid you, that's the ruling. The judge was a police supporter, a huge police supporter. In fact, his campaign was backed by a lot of the police unions. That's how big of a police supporter he is. We had a jury trial. There was a jury trial. The jury did not even get a chance to deliberate. They didn't even get a chance to discuss the facts of the case. Oh, hang on. Let me take that off so you guys can see me. You want to see my ugly mug. I'm sorry. I had the display on. So, let's see, where was I at? So the jury didn't get a chance to deliberate. The judge pretty much took it upon himself and made his own ruling, pretty much rendered the jury useless. And I think some of the jury was kind of upset because it's like, why even bring us here if you're just going to overrule everything? The judge pretty much was like, I'm just going to make a determination, not guilty. Pretty much a kangaroo court. That's all it was. I'm not sure what it's called, but there's a certain term that's used whenever a judge makes a decision without the jury deliberating. So I forgot what it was called. This was back in 2015. So Chapman got off on the charges because he didn't have both feet in the vehicle. So I was just thinking, I was like, man, that's setting a dangerous precedent because you're basically telling me that I can go inside someone's vehicle and I won't be charged with criminal trespass. I mean, the fact that he took the wallet and ID from the vehicle itself should have been like burglary. They didn't want to charge that. So in my overall opinion, I thought it was a kangaroo court. I thought it was just smoke and mirrors, only because the criminal trespass was probably the weakest charge. I mean, you could have did official oppression, burglary, aggravated burglary, whatever you want to call it. There was other crimes that he could have been charged with, but they just chose the much lesser charge, a charge that even if convicted, he would face very, very little or no jail time, or a charge that they know that he can beat. So, long story short, he beats the charges. And then I think he ends up going back to the city of Galveston to work, but not in the same capacity. I think he worked as a patrolman, but he wasn't a sergeant. So he didn't have his sergeant rank anymore. So, yeah, that sucked. But overall, I guarantee you that they know who I am now, and that they most likely will not do this to another person. All right, Zombie Enforcement Bureau, I just made you a mod. So, with that being said, my overall experience was unpleasant. However, it was eye-opening for not only myself, but other people who were involved. So, it was crazy. Let's see. So that was my Galveston arrest and my experience. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. The next topic that I'm going to jump onto is general auditing tips. I know someone was there. I had a couple of people reach out to me and they asked me like, hey man, is there any tips that you can give me on how I could be a better auditor? Okay. Here's what I'll do. I'll give you a couple of tips. Now, with these tips, you can do whatever you want, but then again, I'm not giving you legal advice. This is not legal advice. This is just strictly advice that I'm giving you as a person who wants to record the police and keep them accountable. So the first thing and foremost I will say is to make sure you know the laws in your state or your city. Make sure you know them like the back of your hand. All states are not the same. Some states have wiretapping laws, and you want to make sure that you're not stuck in a state to where you actually have to notify the person that, hey, I'm letting you know that I'm video and audio recording you. Some states require you to say that. So make sure you know for sure if that is your state or not. Let's see. But foremost than anything, if directed verdict. That's right. You're right, HBO Matt. That's what it's called. I just couldn't remember it. Thank you for the $2 donation. Appreciate it. Thank you. So yeah, make sure you know the laws in your area. Make sure you know what you need to do when it comes to recording out in public or even private. Make sure you know what you need to do. Make sure you know the identifying, like the laws, when are you required to identify yourself? Like, know that. Know when you are required to identify yourself. Know what the requirements are when you need to identify yourself. Or if you live in a stop and ID state, just in a general consensus, the officer needs to articulate reasonable suspicion, probable cause, but it's more tailored to reasonable suspicion now. Thank you, Josh Zimmer, for the $10 donation. Appreciate it. Thank you. So it's more tailored to reasonable suspicion. So if an officer can articulate reasonable suspicion, then you have to identify yourself. Some states have laws like that, so you want to make sure that you understand what that means. There was one more thing that... yes, Gary, I did get that arrest expunged. That arrest is gone. I'm trying to think. There was one other thing that I wanted to tell you guys. Oh, property lines. Make sure you know that, because you don't want to be charged with criminal trespass. Sidewalks are open to the public, but make sure you know where the property lines are. Like, there's GSI survey that lets you know, like, hey, if you're gonna film, whatever you want to film, but just do it from a public area where you have the right of way. Jaywalking laws, make sure you know those. There's officers that get a hard on whenever they can arrest you or detain you for jaywalking. Like, there's some officers like that, believe it or not. So just make sure all in a nutshell. Make sure you know the laws. Make sure you know the ID laws. Make sure you know the property lines, and make sure you know how to operate your equipment. I have seen many videos where people will go out and they would use certain equipment and it fails on them, or they don't know how to really use it and the video's just all crazy. Make sure you know how to use your equipment. Make sure everything's fully charged and ready to go when you go out and record. In fact, make it a habit to know how to operate your camera without even looking at it, if need be. Like, know how to turn it on and hit the record button without looking at it. Yeah, some people kind of fumble with it and they just want to make sure everything is good, and then, you know, before they know it, the introduction has already entered. So you just want to make sure you know how to operate your equipment, know the laws, know the property lines, and know when you need to ID and when not to need to ID. I think those are some pretty general tips. Let's see. Let's take a look at the chat. Thank you, J Mo, for the $10 donation. Appreciate it. Thank you. Ooh, all right, so we're at $3,577 on the oral argument. Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome. You guys really appreciate that. So now that I talk about the Galveston arrest, I wonder if there's another arrest that I could probably talk about. I'll have to see. Yeah. Well, I'll think about it. There's probably maybe one arrest that I could probably talk about, but I'll think about that a little bit more because I don't think it's too exciting. I thought the Galveston one was like the most exciting one arrest that I've had, or I shouldn't say exciting arrest, but just the experience was eye-opening. So I will say that. Let's take a look. Recommendation on equipment. All right. Let me light it up here a little bit so that way you can kind of just see. All right. Hopefully you guys can see. I've made it a little brighter in here. Actually, hold on. There's another body camera. There we go. So, CamPro. Make sure you guys get a good body camera. I have two, but I use this one. This one is the Moifly 2K body camera that I use. This is the body camera that I use from now on. This is my go-to for everything. I don't use this anymore, and I'll tell you why. This is supposed to be password protected. Apparently, mine is not password protected. So I couldn't figure out what was going on with it. I looked at the manual. The manual says there's supposed to be some sort of CD, but who uses CDs? My computer doesn't even do CDs. I don't know. So I tried looking on their website, couldn't find anything. So I could use this, but the password, like, none of the files will be password protected. So this pretty much was out of the question. This was trash. So Moifly, this is the one that I use. This is the one that's password protected. In fact, you can turn it on. It's got a display screen on it. It's very good. I've used this body camera whenever I go out cop watching. It's perfect. And I use it along with this. Bob Lowe sent this to review, and this is probably the best thing for this. And in fact, it makes it easy for me to just walk around with this all the time. The best thing that I like about this is that in order to access the files, to view it here, you have to enter the password. Cool. So you can't delete it. If I took my USB and tried to plug it in to this camera here so I can access the files, I would still need to enter the password. If I don't enter the password, I can't access the files on my computer. Awesome. Now, it does have GPS, so I can locate this thing. And it also, well, I mean, not located, but it has GPS, so that way it can tell you in the logs where I was standing. So this is awesome. So yeah, this is the body camera that I use. It's my go-to. The quality is really good. I'm actually going to upload a video here shortly. Actually, wait, hang on. I might have a video here. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. Here's a video from the camera that I'm showing you right now. I'll get to where you guys can see it. So this is the quality. It was like really dark outside. This was like, I don't know, really late at night. So this is the quality. The footage looks really good, right? It almost, I wouldn't call it GoPro type quality, but the quality is very, very good for this camera.
You can do all that just across the street, please.
All right. Is there a reason why you need me to go across the street?
Yeah, because we're going to investigate all of this, okay?
All right. I'm gonna go back down that way, which is where I intended to go.
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna stay in that grassy area that's behind you. I doubt that you're gonna be investigating that, but I'm just gonna stay at your crime scene. Is that okay?
Yeah, probably just go about maybe 50 yards up, okay?
Yeah, I'll keep a good distance from you guys, okay?
So as you see, this this body camera is really, really top notch. Like the quality is really, really good. Now, Billy the Kid, you could use a GoPro 9 for a body camera. That's perfect. However, the reason why I opted to use this is because it's password protected. You cannot delete the files. I can record something on here, and it's the memory is embedded. You would literally have to crack this thing open. You would have to open this thing to access the internal memory. So I don't have to worry about the memory card, putting the memory card in, taking it out, or I don't have to worry about someone trying to access the files on here because it's not password protected. I mean, I do have a GoPro. Let's see, what is this one? This is my GoPro that I have. What is this one? I think this is a GoPro 9. I gotta take that. Let's see. Well, no. So this is the GoPro 8. So as you see there, yeah, it's the 8. I use this whenever I'm driving in a Batmobile because the dash cam that I have in that one, it doesn't record the cabin area. So I have this to record the cabin area. And sometimes I have this too. But I like this better because it has a wider angle. So I use this for whenever I'm in the Camaro and I just put it on the dash and let it record. But I haven't been in a situation to where I needed to use this, but I do have it just in case. But you can stream live on the GoPro 9. Yeah, you definitely can. And I'm going to figure out how to do that. But yeah, you do have a good point. My Forerunner has the Vantrue N2S, and I think that's the video that you guys saw. Let's see if I can find it.
Hi, we're OfferPad, the new way homes
Hi,
are
we're
sold.
OfferPad.
Go to offerpad.com, tell us about your home, and we'll send you.
But I don't want to tell you about my home. I don't have one yet. But of course you guys saw this video. This is the one with the Vantrue N2S. This camera is really good, really good. This is probably one of the recommendations I would make for a dash camera. Overall, out of all the cameras, the N2S for Vantrue is probably my go-to. Definitely. All right. So definitely. All right. And the camera. Oh, also I know there's a lot of people that record on phones, and I just want to kind of make it clear that if you do decide to record on your phone, Google, if you have Android, you can set it up to where anything that you record on your phone, photos, videos, it's backed up to the cloud. So if your phone gets booked into the evidence, you can access your Google Drive on a computer and you can have access to those videos. That's a huge plus. Same thing if you have iPhone. The iPhone has the cloud as well. You can also have, it also has the same features where you have videos and photos and you can save it to the cloud as soon as you're done. But most importantly, you want to make sure you check where it says automatically sync files and videos. I think that's what it's called. It's automatically upload to the cloud. So you want to make sure that's checked, so that way you don't have to manually do it. It does it by itself. That is the number one tip that I can give you if you use your phone. You could be me and use this. This is my backup setup because you never know what's going to happen to your primary. This is a mic. It helps, especially when there's a lot of wind. So what I would say is don't go full out on equipment. Just put like a little bit of money, save it here and there. But this was my setup, and this is the Sony Handycam that I use. In fact, I was going to part ways with this camera, but I couldn't. I love this camera. I love it very much. It's unique because it has like a built-in projector here. I've never seen a camera like that, so I'm never getting rid of this. So this is just like a little camcorder with the external microphone that I use to kind of pick up conversations that are far away. And I think that is a game changer whenever you record police, because sometimes you can sit there and you record from far away, but you can't really hear what they're saying. Even if you're just standing there, it's kind of hard to hear what they're saying. But if I'm probably within a good 20 to 25 feet, I can hear just fine. I can pick up the conversation, and it adds more context to the video. So do your research on microphones, because that can be a game changer for your videos. But there is one microphone that I would highly, highly recommend, and it's not this one. It's currently the one that's sitting on top of the camera right now. Let me get that for you. So this is the microphone that I would recommend. I mean, of course, you want to consider your budget and everything like that. You don't want to go full out on the equipment. However, lawsuits and donations helped me a lot, but I do have a full-time job and make side money on YouTube to where I can actually afford stuff like this. So just, I don't want to throw it out there saying, buy this, but these are just what I would recommend. Rode microphones are pretty good. This here is like a dead cat. It helps with the wind. You definitely want to try to see if you can get one of these for your microphones. That's when you get that's when you get like videos that has like a lot of wind noise, is because you don't have stuff like this to kind of like, kind of block out the wind as much as possible. It doesn't block it out completely, but it does a decent job at blocking it out to where you can still pick up audio. So you definitely do this. So this is the Video Mic Pro Plus. And one of the best things about this is that it doesn't have a battery. It uses my camera's battery. I just plug this in and it's instant power. I don't have to worry about powering this individually. It's instant power. So definitely. I did get a lot of questions about apps, on what apps to use to record. I don't use apps. I use the camera equipment that I have, and I live stream, and I use the Google Drive to back up videos when I need to. So that's what I use. So. Oh, Rat Boy Ninja's a sound engineer. I didn't know. I know you could fix up audio, but man, that sounds like it's very interesting. But yeah, it sounds complicated too. But yeah, all in a nutshell, man, that's just my gear. And I've actually in a process of, as you see here, this is one thing that I hate about my camera, and I haven't told people this, but this is one thing that I hate. So the files that I pull from my memory card from the camera, I have to convert them. This is very time consuming, and it sucks because it doesn't play well. So what I do is I come here and I pretty much I convert it to 4K 60 frames per second, and then it's basically like an encoder. That's all in a nutshell. It's an encoder, and then I have to pretty much set all my options and then start encoder, and then pretty much have to wait. I have about 30 files that I need to encode, so I'm about halfway done, and this was all from last night. Last night I was on fire just finding a bunch of stops to record. I even had a frustrating interaction with the police officer too. His name was Lester, but that was probably the first time I got frustrated too. I got frustrated because I was actually picking up on some really good stuff, and then he comes and I'm not gonna ruin it. You'll just have to watch it when I upload it. But yeah. That's pretty much it. So, all in all, that's pretty much it. I will take questions. You guys have any questions? I'll go ahead and look into the chat to see if you guys have any questions for me. I think that pretty much wraps up everything. If you do have a question for me, just put @the_Batosai so that way I can read it. Let's see. Zombie Enforcement. What is your video camera? The camera that I'm using is Sony AS7 III. That's the camera that I use to record. And yeah, I know it's a little overkill, but I love the quality. Let's see, Handbrake. Yeah, Bunny Boots. That's exactly what this program that I'm using. It is Handbrake. Handbrake it's a free program, and it's very easy to use. I love it. Sometimes it does compresses the file to save, but you also want to make sure dead end to make sure you have enough space in Google Drive, because I know some Google Drive, they have a certain limit, but I don't think it compresses it, and it doesn't change the quality. Andy, you're lucky I saw that. I don't have a scanner. I just use my phone. It's called a Radio Scanner. It's an app that I use, and that's what I use to pick up the dispatch channels to hear about what's going on in the area. So that's pretty much what I use. Josh Zimmer, what's your favorite video game of all time? When you said that, there is only one game that came to mind, and that's Metal Gear Revengeance. Yeah, Metal Gear Revengeance. Let me see. And it's funny that you asked me that, because that was going to be like my my YouTube channel was going to center around that. So here. Yeah, Metal Gear Rising. let's see if I can find a picture, because I know some people may not know what that is. Wow, there's actually people that still play it. That's awesome. I don't know if you guys can see that. Thank you, Nicholas Hayden, for the $5 donation. Thank you, India Games Only, for the $5 donations. Oh, I do play Apex. I'll stream Apex if you guys want me to do that. I will definitely stream Apex on my gaming channel. I'm trying to find it, like a good picture. Okay, here. This is probably the best that it's gonna do. So this is Metal Gear Revengeance. That's probably my favorite game of all time, like hands down. It's an old game, and I think that game was like way ahead of its time, like by far, and it was awesome. Clearly my favorite game. Let's see. Let me go back in the chat. All right. Any questions? CPR camera, protect my rights. Can you check my page? All right. All right. This you right here, buddy? CPR cameras. Ah, looks like you're a brand new channel. You're starting up there. So good to see that. Good to see new people up and coming. I'll take a look at your videos, definitely. So this is CPR cameras protect rights. I'll put that link here in the description if you guys want to go check out his content. It's pretty cool. Thank you for sharing that to me. All right. Dead end. Google Drive is only 15 gigabyte standard account for storage. Yeah, that's about right. Just try not to record in 4K because you will definitely use up all that space. Nicholas Hayden, thank you for the $5 donation. Do you think Turner Driver has made a difference? Yes, I do. I do believe Turner Driver made a difference. Just like any other circuit ruling court has made a difference. And I have noticed as well, whenever I will go out and record the police, they tend to be more respectful of my rights. They don't bother me, but there will be that one officer or two officers that, they want to tell you what to do and how to do it. But, as long as you're not interfering, if you're not bothering anybody, then it shouldn't be a problem. But you will have that. But overall, they just don't bother me when I'm recording. Jose Parra, thank you for the $10 donation. Thank you, sir. CPR camera for the $1 donation. Thank you. David Swinton, origin story, please. Okay, how's this for you? What if I told you this channel was not intended for police activism, accountability, things of that nature? What if I told you that this channel only had one intended purpose, and that was for entertainment? Not this entertainment per se, but video games, anime, animation, things of that nature. That's what this channel was about. That's why the Batosai, which is named after a fictional anime character that I liked, that was going to be my gaming channel, and that was what I was going to use to pretty much upload gaming videos, like clips of anime and me talking about anime. And then all of that just went out the window when I got illegally pulled over. I got illegally pulled over by the Cedar Park police, and they wanted to search me and my car, and they lied over and over about why they stopped me. that just happens to be my first video that I uploaded. And since then, that's the direction my channel went. So after my channel got popular, I ended up eventually making a gaming channel that, you know, that I pretty much had like my heart into. But now my heart's into this, because now it's not just me being affected. I see millions, hundreds of millions of other people being affected by police misconduct. So, and I tend to share that message to a lot of people, just, you know, try to educate others, inform others as much as I can, and then also, you know, keep you guys informed and entertained on what I do. So I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, pretty interesting, right? So I was thinking about changing my name to Batosai, but the thing about it is everything that I've done was centered around the Batosai, so I'm just going to keep it the same. Why not have an injunction motion ready to serve a servant? Copy can be made using... Well, I'll say this, David the Great. Suing a police officer is not easy, but I'll have to do a little bit more research on what you're implying. I will say that I'm not 100% sure what that is. I will say that. Billy the Kid, how about go and play Warzone with Johnny 5-0? Johnny 5-0 is a gamer? Oh man, let me find out. Hey Johnny 5-0, if you're in this, man, I haven't played Warzone. You might have to show me, but I love first-person shooter games. I'm really good. I'm not gonna say I'm a god or anything, but I'm really good at first-person shooter games. So we'll have to see. With that being said, that I was talking about my gaming channel. If you guys are interested, or if there's some of you guys that are interested, let me put my link here so that way you can kind of see the gaming channel. So this here, that's my gaming channel. This is the type of stuff that I kind of wanted to do. Yeah. So do you guys want to see like a quick clip from like the stuff that I do, like when I edit videos? Just put a 1 in chat if you want to see. I don't want to bore a lot of people, because I know some people don't want to watch that crap, but hey, you know, this is a laid back live stream. Yeah, I could definitely play Apex. Yeah. Okay, I'll tell you this. Go to that page there. I'm going to live stream later tonight. Maybe after I'm done live streaming here, I'll live stream on that channel of me playing Apex, and I'll still talk and, you know, have fun with you guys, kicking the can and stuff like that. So that way, I'll keep my channel separate. So the people who do want to watch me play Apex and talk, and you guys want to hang out and ask me questions and things of that nature, please go to that channel and subscribe. And I'll just keep it simple. I'll just keep this channel strictly for police accountability, government, and serious talks, and then I'll just keep my gaming channel separate. I'll do that. So let's see. Let me show you some, like, I'll show you what my channel was intended for, okay? Because a lot of people, because I'm kind of, you know, the recommendation for 2021 anime. Oh man, don't get me started on anime, man. Anime, I like My Hero Academia. I love that one. I like No Game No Life. One that I found very interesting that I didn't want to watch, but then after the first episode, after I watched it, I was like hooked on it. It's called The Never Promised Land. That's a really good one. There's a bunch of other animes out there, but I'll probably hit you up on the side, Bunny Boots. Yeah, there's a lot of good anime that I can recommend you. Hold on. Make sure I don't skip too much in the chat. If we ever do another BlizzardCon, you're invited to attend, Andy. Yeah, Andy. If you guys have that info, man, let me know where it's at, or I could probably just Google BlizzardCon and figure out where it's at. Oh, Johnny 50's. Wait. Hey, link me Johnny 50's live stream. I'm a for his gaming channel. I'm gonna have to jump into that. But yeah, definitely. I'm gonna keep my gaming channel separate from that. Let's see. I'm gonna play a video, right? So let me see. This. Hold on. I wanna play a really, really good one. Hold on. I gotta find one. Here, I'll play this one. This one's just a very, very simple one. So, am I being detained? Scott, no, you're not detained. You are free to go, sir, and you're more than welcome to stay. Scott, you can enjoy this live stream. We're not going to extort you for any money. So you are free to do whatever you want, sir. Just as long as you're not, you don't do victimless crimes. HBO. Yeah, so my gaming channel, only HBO, Matt, and my wife watches me. So, yay, I'll have more people. Oh, and Zermus. Zermus is another guy that watches my YouTube channel. But he found me on my actual channel for recording police, which actually was pretty cool. So I'm in the Discord with him, and we talk about a lot of stuff. And what's cool about Zermus is that he has friends that he tries to introduce to, like with learning your rights and exercising your rights and things of that nature. And some of his friends are very open, and they're curious about, like, yo, that's pretty cool. I didn't even know that. I didn't know you could do this. I didn't know you could say stuff like that. That's pretty awesome. So I think I've had maybe 3-4 hour discussions with him and his friends about some of the things that I do and some of the things that you can do. So it's pretty cool. Awesome. Hit major own gaming channel. All right, I'm gonna save that. Dang, he's got more subscribers than me.
There's a huge difference from what. I mean, these guys have the ability
look at Johnny 50.
So that, having a fast computer, and more importantly, a fast internet connection. And
wow, this is mind-boggling for me.
Monitor refresh rate.
Super high damage, every shot lands. Like
right.
All they have to do is pull the trigger.
Wow, Johnny 50 in the building.
And that's it. Or
right.
their head, however they have it.
That's
set.
pretty cool,
right.
man.
But I mean, having.
Wow, that's crazy. All right, yeah, I gotta get my channel up, man. I only have like 90 subscribers. Well, before I mentioned anything, I only had like 81 subscribers, but now I have 90. That's pretty cool. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for subscribing to my gaming channel. So I'll try to explain what's going on in this picture. So we landed, right? So this game is called Apex Legends, and I'm just gonna play one clip. I'm not gonna go straight into my gaming segment. If you guys want to watch me game, I'm gonna game after this live stream on my other channel. So this is Apex Legends, and I do a lot of fun stuff on here. Let's see. No, I'm gonna show you a different video. It's like I have another video. So yeah. So here is a good video. This is me. Sometimes I have moments where I miss shots, and there's sometimes I just turn into a complete god and just kill everybody. But you know, I have my moments. But this is Apex Legends. This is a game that I play a lot, and this is what I'm gonna stream afterwards. So here it is. So this is just me fighting other people. And I'm pretty decent at this game too. If you guys want to watch me play, I can definitely play it. So I pretty much just killed that whole squad, like single-handedly. Yeah, I missed shots here and there, but the thing is that sometimes you just gotta know how to handle it. You just gotta do the situation perfectly. So, you know, that's just me, my gaming channel. I don't tend to mix the two, but that's just kind of what I do on the side whenever I don't do audits and stuff like that. But I don't really play much, but yeah, here and there. But yeah, I mean, I think that's gonna be pretty much it, man. That's the live stream. I appreciate you guys for tuning in and listening to my Galveston story, to auditing tips, to, you know, general recommendations on equipment, and, you know, brief questionnaire. So if you guys want to continue on, let me put that back in the chat here. There is my gaming channel, and that's where I'm gonna do part 2 of my live streams. If you guys want to watch, you're more than welcome to, and we'll just probably sit there making fun and just talking about stuff. So I will be doing that. Yeah. But Monday, I gotta work on my videos. I have a couple of videos that I shot, and I think there is one video in particular that we can all learn from, and I can't wait to upload that video. So it's not just me and auditors, but it's also police officers. That, you know, police officers can learn something from this video too, as well as other auditors. I will be uploading that video tomorrow, so keep a lookout for that. So awesome. So with that being said, thank you everyone. We have raised $600 just from Super Chat alone for the cause. So I will be donating $604 to this cause here. And keep in mind, before we started, the raised goal was $3,100 and maybe $12, and now it's $3,577. So let me refresh it just in case. Yep, $3,577. Awesome, guys. So I'm gonna be donating $600 after this stream is over, and I will be hopping on to my gaming channel if you guys want to tune in. And once again, there is my gaming channel. So I'll see you guys there. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for listening to what I have to say. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. You guys mean the world to me. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate it. With that being said, you guys take care. Have a great night. And I'll see you on my gaming channel. Peace out.